Yes, 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 we're back, we're back, we're back. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM. My name is Kim Dominique-Ferguson. I'm in studios with
Renee Jordan.
And just have to make a little correction to what I was saying earlier. We have on the line with us Alan Prater, and he's the lead vocalist of the band The Brooks. He's a legend. He's worked with amazing, it's mind-blowing to me that you've worked with the Jacksons. And I've known you for over a decade, watching you at Community Vibe Collective, and I'm like, this man has known all of the legends. I feel like I'm caressed by the legends by proxy. Thank you so much for being on the air with us and telling us your story. So kind of to bring everybody back on track, you came to Montreal with the Jacksons. You played the Forum, caught a vibe, went to Toronto, and then you were like, nah. I'm coming back to Montreal.
Yeah, I have to see this place, man. Yeah.
So how did you decide to stay here? So obviously there was a bit of the appeal of it being like a European. It resembles the European cities and whatnot. But you stayed here with the snow. And
with all that, man. Luckily, man, that's the question that everybody asks me. What kind of interviews or whatever I'm doing, man. Everybody always could get to that.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question differently. Let me ask you the question. How did you fall in love with this city? Because you have to fall in love with this city in order to stay here. How about that?
Right. Yeah. See, I think a lot of you guys don't realize the city that you live in, how great this city is. Being from a place where I never saw change of seasons, as vivid as it is here.
Yeah.
I could walk down the street in Montreal and hear a patois. I can walk a block later, I hear French. In the same block, I can hear some African dialects. In the same block, I can hear Asian dialect. In the same block, I can hear German. I can hear every culture on the planet is right here.
It's the city of the United Nations. You
know what I'm saying? That was exciting to me, coming from where I come from. I come from Jacksonville, Florida. It was in my neighborhood, all black high school, all black university, and so it was just us. You know what I mean? So to come in a city like this and to see how people living among each other like that it's not perfect, but to me it's exciting to me. Right now today, I've been here for decades, and I still every day enjoy waking up in Montreal. So I fell in love with the city for sure, and I have an awesome wife.
Well, that always helps.
The bonus, the cherry on top.
Yeah.
But what was it? Did you meet her here actually?
Yes, she's a French Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was it like playing in Montreal? What did you find? Was there like a pull in terms of how Montreal responded to the music, responded to concerts? And
wow, that's good. That's a good question. For me, I spent the first couple of years, like I said now, but I was here under under the table, you have to say, because I was just moving around with this alias name, doing gigs and whatever, trying to do whatever I can do to get in. And it wasn't at the time, it was like hip hop was just starting to get around here.
Right.
And it was all rock city. So obviously I don't do rock, and so it's kind of different for me. But luckily, the funk, that genre of music can cross a lot of genres. You can cross a lot of lines.
Yeah.
And doing that style of music, I honestly tell you the truth, doing that style of music, it was a little easy to get around that barrier, being a rock town. And so I used to go do gigs. Man, when I first started, I went to Bonanote, walked in there and asked the guy, can I sit in the corner and play piano in his restaurant? He was like, we don't do music here, I said, dude, just let me sit in the corner. It'll be no problem. He said, okay, cool. So I sat in the corner, sitting there back there, and had a piano and my keyboard, and I would just hum to myself and play a little bit, And the next, he asked me again, Sunday, you want to come back next week? I said, yeah, of course. And the next thing you know, he started to pay me. And he said, I'll pay you now. And he said, hey, I got a lounge next door, Magenta next door. It's attached to Bonanote. And this was before Bonaventure was big. Bonaventure was small then.
Right.
Anyway, so he gave me a night there. And I started doing a show there with 3 people, me, the drummer, and a keyboard player. And from that moment, all the top musicians, famous musicians in Montreal would come and watch us play on that Monday night.
Right.
So that let me know we was on to something. And that kind of stuck, man. So I got a reputation of being, this funk guy. Yeah. This guy from the States and da-da-da-da. So, and that's how I grew, man. So we all the way down St. Lawrence Street, we started developing music, and bands were appearing because of that, and the Salvios and all these clubs that open up and down the block. And I used to play all 3 of them, do an hour over here, finish, here, go upstairs, the Salvio, play an hour there, pack up and go down the street there and play at all these different places. I was doing like 3 clubs in one block in one night,
Yeah.
Doing the kind of stuff like that. So it was, but they kind of took to me, and that's the way it all started right there, man. So it's kind of easy.
You really had a knack for creating creative spaces for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Like I say, praise to the universe, the creator, and just my how do you call it, being naive. Didn't see barriers. I don't know
if that was being naive or if it was being confident in your craft.
Well, you know what? I never thought of it as when people say you can't do something. I never had that pushed before me, but I just saw opportunities over there and I just run toward it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was.
Would you say how much would you say intuition played in?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. A whole lot. No question about it. Everything I ever done in my life came with like intuition.
Yeah.
Everything I ever done in my life that meant something, that got me to a place, it was all like that.
That's interesting because I do a lot of reflection on like intuition, and I feel like it'll never steer you wrong. Like 99.5%, 99.9% of the time, if your intuition, if you listen to it, it's gonna steer you right. And I say that intuition is that first thing you hear, and then thought is the second thing you hear. So intuition is turn left here on this road. Thought is no, but this is the most efficient way to get to where I'm going. Because intuition will take you somewhere that you're like, why on earth would I go here? Why would I do this? Why would I go into Bonanote and sit down at this piano and start playing? That's intuition that's going to tell you all of that. Logics will tell you, no, don't go there. Go down to the bigger club and try and get a job at the bigger club. Yeah,
and couldn't play piano either.
Oh, okay. So how did you manage?
So what did you do? You just banged on some notes and...
Man, I had a sequencer, and I would come home and plan everything out and program this, program that, program that. I could play, I have to play a little chord here, then that. Not no player, just play it, punch this, punch that, and make a song. Okay, do, make another song, make another song. And then when I get there, push play. And I could play a string line over here, something, a little something over here, and just say I'm doing something. But never was a player, man. But I had a knack for performing,
Wow.
Right.
That is truly impressive.
So
to talk yourself into a gig, doing something that they never did there before, and then to creatively put together something that you've never done before, and then to make it all believable as you sit there night after night and create a vibe that makes people come for weeks and all over the place. That's really impressive.
Yeah, I was a horn player, so I didn't know it, but I wanted to be a songwriter, and I wanted to have my own band after playing with people like Michael and all them cats, and watching Cameo, played with Cameo for a few years too, and did a record with them and everything, and watching them cats, man, I wanted to be that cat,
Yeah.
And so, it's like, man, whatever it takes, when I come to Montreal, I can reinvent myself. I don't have to be that horn player. I stopped playing horn for a long time too, about 15 years. Until recently with the Brooks, I started picking it up again. But it was like, man, I have a clean slate. I can be anybody I want to be.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, the fact that you you didn't know how to play piano, and you went into this place and you just started doing it, isn't really outside of the realm of how you did things. I mean, you came out of the airport and they had a band, the Memphis Horns, was it?
Yes.
There was a band, the Memphis Horns, and you just were like, yeah, that's us. And jumped into that limo or that bus or whatever, and your whole band was like, what's going on? I mean, it's not that far-fetched to believe that you would just have like a gut feeling of something and you say, go for it. And I think that's amazing to hear, especially when it comes to in the arts, because I feel like the arts, you have to be in tune with your intuition because the doors are not going to be obvious. Like, open doors are not necessarily obvious to the average. Not necessarily
obvious, you're right. And all my boys were with me. They wouldn't really, they were like, what the heck's going on, you know? But they always trusted me, you know?
Yeah.
They always trusted me and followed me to the end of the earth, and I'm thankful for that.
And so you worked the entire strip of Saint Laurent and met musician after musician. I'm sure you went on tours across the world still because of, even though Montreal became your base. Then what happened? Because I know you from community, and that's very humble. You know, that's a very humble space to be in. But you know and have worked with many, many names that many of us are looking up to, like, oh my God, you're so far away, but you're accessible to us here.
Yeah. Well, you know, like obviously it's not that far as you think it is. Mm-hmm. But, you know, for me, man, music is, you know, one thing I know about Montreal is full of talented people.
Yeah.
Full of talented people. I mean, more talented people than where I came from. I mean, you know, white cats, black cats, Asian cats, West Indian cats, it's just full of talent here. And when I discovered community, that was like, man, wow. I go to a place, man, and just freestyle. And it's like an organized chaos kind of freestyle thing. And when I discovered that place, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And to see it, when I first saw it, I just thought that was the most phenomenal thing I ever witnessed.
Yeah.
You know? And so going there and being alongside them cats like that, man, I never think of myself as have arrived to a place, you know, a greatness or above anybody else. I always look at what could I learn next, you know, and I attach myself to people who give me that energy. Yeah. You know, all these cats, man, Freddie V, Josh Son, Malika, Sarah MK, you know, and it's so many more I could name, man. It just, you know, Jordan Peterson, all them cats, man. I met these cats, man, at community. It was just like, man, it's a candy store here.
And Jordan Peterson actually went on to play, if I'm not mistaken, with Lauryn Hill.
That's right, Jordan Peterson. We chatted today. Jordan, I did a thing in New York and took him down to New York with me. Him and Sarah MK down in New York with me to do this live recording. And this boy, he's a phenomenal dude. All those people I just named just then, Miriam, all those people I just named just then, ultra talented people. Ultra talented people. But I say one thing about most talented people, and not saying they're the ones, but a lot of people who got ultra talented people, they have no reason to hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But less talented people.
Oh, wow.
Put themselves in position.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
You're saying that you are less talented.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Every day I meet some, you know, every day I see something, and I see guys right now today, and they look to me and being this guy, I'm like looking at them like, dude, if he only knew me, he's blowing way past me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just a matter of that I see opportunities where people see obstacles.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing like that. You know, I do a show in a phone booth. It doesn't matter who I played with before. That's in my past. You know, but I still do a thing at the Bell Center at the same time.
Right.
You know, so it's the same thing. Music is music, and stage is a stage.
Yeah. So take us to the Brooks and Any Day Now.
Yeah, my boys. Yeah, Yeah, man. But the Brooks, man, we found each other, man, at a club on the East End called Diazons, a jazz club.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited there one night to do a show, and I had never met these guys before. They had already been a band, recording band, not live. They just did studio stuff. And I was invited to do a show there, and I sent them music. When I got there, first time I ever seen them was when I got there. No rehearsals, anything.
Wow.
And they came up and did 2 instrumental songs before I came up on the stage. And the first song they did, man, Kim and Renee, I was blown away. I was like, first of all, it was like 6 white guys, French Canadian guys, and they playing this music. They sounded like they was from New Orleans or something, Memphis or from Philadelphia.
Right.
The style and the way they groove, man, I couldn't believe I was hearing it at the time. Took my phone out, man, and secretly like recorded a little bit on the side, and put it in my pocket. And man, I'm listening to these boys saying, man, these boys, what the heck are they? How do they know this kind of stuff? And they was into the parliaments and the meters, and it was into all the stuff that I grew up on,
Yeah.
So I'm freaking out. So I go and do the show. We did my show and everything. At the end of the night, Alexandre Lapointe, which is the leader of the band, he said, hey, we're doing the album. I want you to hear some of my stuff. Because they know me. I didn't know them, but they knew me. They say, hey, tell me what you think about our album. He gave me the album and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I come home that night, and man, the music was sitting there saying, you need a vocal on this record. Because they had recorded it and sent it to New York. Dap King's people was mixing it for them.
Right.
That night, I wrote a song. I wrote the lyrics to one of the tracks they had. Mm-hmm. And they was in mix stages. I wrote the lyrics to it, full scope of the whole song and everything. Wrote the lyrics, performed everything, background lead vocals and everything. Sent it to Alex that night. Yeah. He woke up the next morning, his email, that song was there. And he heard it and he freaked out.
Right.
By that time, I had wrote 2 or 3 more.
Right.
So every song he sent me, I put vocals on them because they were instrumental songs. And that's how we started. So they stopped their mixing session in New York, slipped my vocals in, and we became the Brooks like that. Boom. Just like that. Opportunity, it was sitting there. So I didn't know them, they knew me, and they had some music, and I put vocals to it. I mean, produced it right in my room and sent it out to them, and we pressed it, and it was the first Brooks album. All right.
Just in case you're tuning in for the first time, we are talking to a legend here in Montreal, in Alan Prater, who is the lead vocal on the Brooks, and their album came out very recently, Any Day Now. That's the title of the album, not that it's coming out any day now. And we do have to take a quick break and come back with a final segment talking to Alan Prater. Keep it locked. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM.